Mellowseven. This is Football Manager 2018, and we are back, kind of, sort of, with PFK Montana. We're not coaching. I just resigned and went on vacation for 5 years, and I thought we'd look to see, did we create a good enough team that they were able to stay up? Did we give them a good enough, between us and the general manager, did we create a team that could stay at the top? So let's take a look. This was our first year up, right? We were fifth, and then in the championship phase, you can see we ended up in third place. We did pretty well. Let's go back to preliminary. So then this was our second year. We didn't do as well, but you know what? We stayed up. So we could look at relegation stage, all groups, and we can see there we are right there. So not too shabby. Preliminary phase. So the first year we were gone, how'd they do? They finished ninth. Okay. Relegation stage, all groups. And they finished second in Group B. So not too bad. So 32 points. They made it to that. How'd they do? Did they qualify? Quarterfinal. And they lost. Okay. So let's go back to our preliminary phase. So that was the first year we were gone. Second year we were gone, how'd they do? 12th, but they did well enough in relegation that they hung on. So we can see again, fourth place here, but then on the relegation playoff, how'd we do? We won that one. And then there was a loser second round, and then we won this one. So managed to stay up. Came right down to it, but they managed to stay up. So they didn't do too badly. So back to preliminary. Let's jump up a year. How'd we do again? 10th place. Again, we weren't relegated. We go down to relegation stage, all groups. There we go. Second place there. So potentially into the European Paces Court. Nope, lost there. So apparently, I mean, they seem to be doing about as well as I did. Next year, how'd they do? 9th place. 3 teams got relegated that year. And let's check the relegation stage, all groups. They finished in first place that time in their group, Group B. So how did the chance? Did they get a chance? And they won there. Okay. And they lost there. So they didn't make it past Slava Sofia. But that's not too shabby. I think we would take that just about any year. So then we jump up, and this is the current season. We are 15th of June right now, so season pretty close to over, if not completely. And where are we? We're right here in 10th place. Ooh, look at that. They went in. Well, it was pretty tight. I mean, there were a lot of points there, you know. I mean, a lot of teams close. So they went in there, relegation stage, and we finished second. That took us into the quarterfinal playoff, and we lost there. So not too shabby, all in all. I'm interested in... Can we look at their finances? You know, we can do. Let's come over here. Let's go here. Move to other club, Montana. Let's just make ourselves coach again here. PFK Montana. There we go. Yep. We don't care. Let's come look at their finances. So, yeah, finances are fine. You can see this was kind of the beginning of our up. They've continued to do well. They've got $756,000 in the bank, in the balance here at the end of the season. I don't know if they've been paid yet for the end of the season. With a transfer budget of $3 million. Payroll, now they are spending $41,000. That's a big jump up. We were spending like $13,000 when we were playing. So they've got a much better team now, or a much more expensive team, not necessarily better. But they're still dramatically under their payroll. So clearly they're doing okay money-wise. If we've made this big jump up here to where, you know, at some points we're sitting about $5 million. It looks like. Not sure how we only have an overall balance. That's more than $756,000, guys. That's $4 million-ish, right? I mean, I'm not on crack. Overall balance is there. That's about that. That's not 757,000. Income, expenditure. Do they have debt? No. Projection. What's their projection? Well, they say they're going to be down 2.64 million in a couple years, but I don't see how. And I don't know where this 756,000 comes from. Clearly, we've got more than 756,000 in the bank. I mean, that's us right there, right? And we've made a little bit of a profit recently. That's this upswing here. So this team isn't operating on a loss. They dipped down a little bit here. They dipped down a little bit here. Probably transfer well, I don't know. Maybe transfer windows. They had a big expenditure here. Maybe they bought somebody before the June 24th season. I don't know. I'm not sure. Clearly, we have more money than what shows here. Is it this plus this plus this? What's the calculator say? Let me go to web display capture there. Calc. 3446245 plus 57. No, it's clear. How do we? There we go. Clear. I should have just done the first one. 3446245 plus 756,706 equals 4.2. Okay, I think that's the difference. I don't think this money's not showing up over here. And oddly enough, they only get 60% of transfer revenue. But that's fine. They're clearly not spending what they have. So let's take a look at transfers the last few years. Let's go transfer history. What was that? Transfer center. 7 available buy or sell. Oh, this is where they moved clauses. Interesting. Okay. I wondered where it had gone. I was thinking about that the other day. Okay. So let's go back a few years. Let's look. This would be the first year without us, right? So we saw Antonov leave, sold Nechev, they sold Dimitar. Look at that. In the winter break, they sold Georgiev, Emmet Ahmed, Kolev. They just wiped out their defense back there. Oh, it didn't wipe it out, but I mean, they got rid of all the players that were underperforming a bit. Although these are loans, so that's not terrible. Vladimir went out on loan. Vladimir Vladanov and Vladimir Redensov both went out on freeze. Loan. They loaned out a lot of players. Look at that. That's a hell of a loan series. My gosh. Okay. So we saw Angel, we saw Stanislav, Todor, Antonos, and Angelov, right? So that took us right to here. So they paid $8,500 for Todor Krastov's defensive center. Pavel Ninov, right? We saw that. He looked good, $275. They brought in Blagovest Donchev on loan. Decent, not spectacular. Defender center. So he really spent a lot of time working on the defensive center. Georgie Georgiev. Is that the no? Which Georgiev did they get rid of? Dimitar. Okay, the one we had. Just making sure. Christian Dimitrov. Okay, so he was what? He was the defended center. We paid $230 for this guy. And he must have retired because he's blank now. So he must have retired, and so it wipes the stats of him. Okay, and he's 36 years old now. So, this is 5 years ago. He'd been 31. I don't even know what position he played. 3 appearances. Well, okay. We paid big money for him, though. That was our big money signing of the semester. Was an old guy. And then Rosen Mitev. He looks pretty good. Decent goaltender. Okay. Oleg. Defensive midfielder, midfield center. Not bad. Good leadership there. For midfielder left. Again, man, they like their midfielders. Okay, so not a bad season. Next season, we just let them go on freeze. The guys that we had sent out on loans last season, we just dumped. At least these two. And we sold, or Munin we sold. Okay. Mihov we let go on a free. Sold Minkov. He was kind of a pain in the ass. They sold him. They sold Yanko Angelev. They just kept him for the 1 year, apparently. Okay. I think they took a loss on him, right? 13.25. They paid 59 and sold him the next year for 15. Or 13. That's about it. That's not too good. Lots of loan players went out. Nobody we recognized, so must be mostly youths. Antonis Iliev, they sold Iliev. Okay, they got potentially 77,000, a few more loans. Lots and lots. They like their loans, don't they? All right. So, who did they bring in? Plamen Dimov off of Botev Plovdiv. Okay, defensive center. He's old now. I assume 3 or 4 years ago he was still old, but maybe he had some acceleration and pace. Brought in another Angelov. Good physicals. That's kind of about it. I apparently can't look at this guy. Another retiree, maybe? That's interesting. I can't even. The other guy we could look at, but there were no numbers. This guy we can't even look at. But they brought him in on freeze. So, oh, that actually doesn't look too shabby. Oh, wait, defender right? Okay. Let's look at people they paid money for. So 105, potentially 140 for Timur Setkov. I'm not seeing it. He's not any better than players we already had that were not worth 100,000. I think they overpaid for that guy. And they paid 12 for this guy. Defender right, no technicals. Yeah, they're not bringing in good players. At least I don't believe so. Who did they let go this season? They sold Petr Petrov. Okay. Got 600 and almost 900,000 for Angel Lyaskov. He was the really good defender left. So they did well there. They brought him in for, I don't remember what it was, 100,000 maybe. They paid money for him, but not 650 grand. So they made a nice profit there. Who did they buy big here? Vladislav Misak. Again, another attacking midfield left. And he doesn't look spectacular. I don't see anything there that says they should have paid 170,000 for him. Okay, paid 275 pounds for this guy. 350,000, potentially 450. That's better. I mean, those mentals are very good. Now, he's 31 years old now, so this is 2 or 3 years ago. So he was already 28-ish, probably, at the time. Physicals aren't spectacular. Technicals, even at this point, aren't spectacular. So they paid for the mentals, but the mentals are good. Martin Minshev, they paid almost 100,000 for. He looks pretty good. Good crossing, dribbling, finishing, first touch, composure. He's got some flair off the ball. No teamwork. No work rate. Penalty taking of 11. Okay, not bad. 105,000 for an attacking midfielder with no technicals. Good physicals, though. Mentals are half and half. Again, I'm not sure that they're worth the money they're paying for him. These players that they brought in, for the most part, aren't any better than anything we had for a lot less money. So they're really overspending on the players they're bringing in. This guy looks pretty good. Again, another attacking midfielder, but I haven't seen any that they brought in that are, that blow my mind. This guy is probably the best of the bunch. I'm not sure he would have started on the left for us. Probably on the right. Well, yeah, he's probably better than Sergey. I'm not sure he was better than Petkov. Speaking of, they brought in a Petkov for defender right. He looks pretty good. 800. Oh, they paid up to $1 million for him. But do we think he's better than the guy they sold for 650? I don't think so. Again, I think they overpaid by a couple 100,000. Angel Garanchov, it was only 2 years ago at this point, I think. So he was already 30 years old. Good defense. Now, that's not terrible for defensive center. I mean, even now at 32, he still has pace and acceleration. But he's not better than some of the players we had when we left. Good physicals. He's a striker that doesn't really finish. He's got good long shots. That's about all I see there. Okay, well, I'm not really seeing anything that's going to set the world alight here. Who did they made a little bit of money on that one. Made a lot of money on this kid. We haven't seen him be bought in, so at least not that I've noticed. So he must have been one of ours. Not too bad. Sold Minshev. Minshev turned out. I don't know who that Martin Minshev is. Did we watch him get brought in? He doesn't look too shabby there. Was he the one I liked a couple years ago that they brought in that we just skipped past? Well, we didn't skip past that we just talked about, but I've already forgotten. Pavel Ninov. We looked at him. Okay, so they sold him for $525. Let's see. Any big money sign? 82,000 is not too shabby. I mean, they paid consistently here. I mean, 70, 60, 80, 48, 82, 400 for Crum from Ludogorets. Does he look like a 400,000, potentially 575? He doesn't look better than what they had. Did we buy back Nedelchev? They bought back Nedelchev. At a discount, to be fair. They sold him to Slava Sofia for $800,000. He got one appearance. They sold him to Barrow Stara Zagora at a huge discount. He got one appearance. We bought him back for $210, so a 600,000 profit, and he's still the same old. He got 21 appearances, but he's not playing any better. I mean, you can see 6'6", 6'6", 6'7", 6'6", 6'6", 6'6", 6'8" in his one game, 6'8" in his one game, and 6'7". So he's never improved. He's an average player, despite all of those numbers. Let's look at his attributes. How did he end up? 14, 11, 14. Doesn't really look like he improved much. Got some strength. I think he was strong to begin with. Determination. Never did it. Okay. Well, I would say clearly the money has done better, right? They've done a decent job financially. They've bought some players cheap. They've sold them high. Some of them that they sold high, they bought low. So they've done well fiscally. They haven't overall, but I don't think their $41,000 roster is any better than our $13,000 roster. So here they're fiscally not doing what they're not buying the right players, even though they're making money on the buys and the sells. I think they're wasting a lot of money on budget and payroll. Excuse me. But that's interesting. I just wanted to kind of see how it ended up for them. Clearly, we started something for them. They've done fine. Reputation is up to 2.5 stars. This is probably where they need to be spending their money is on training and youth facilities instead of some of these high-placed players. That would probably serve them better. They're still playing something similar to what we were playing, a 4-2-3-1. So they haven't really changed that. Okay, well, I just wanted to stop in and see how they did. So I think we can probably just call this one. I'm going to save it just in case I want to come back to it someday. Maybe I really do want to coach him now. And we can see league history here. They were up for a few years and they dropped back down. 1, 2, 3. I thought they were only up for 3 years was everything I read. So I'm not sure what this year is. Because this shows them up for 3 and then getting relegated to 4. So they're actually up 4 years. And then they were down. And then they were up, down. They were up for a year. Well, 2 years, I guess. Got relegated again. Then we got promoted. And these were our 2 years up. And they've managed to stay. So, I think we started some. That's 7 years up, I think. I guess we can't complain about that, right? All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed coming back to take a look to see how it worked out. Thumbs up, thumbs down, all the standard stuff applies. Don't forget to subscribe, and we see you next time. Cheers.